My name is Mark Dodsworth. I'm course leader for film studies and have been for 20 years now here at QE. I came here as a student myself and I've always enjoyed it and held it in really high regard. Film studies itself is a very modern, very dynamic, fascinating and fun subject, but it also has a great deal of challenge in it too. We're taking to pieces a wide variety of film texts. We start with British and Hollywood films, starting with what you know, films such as Inception and La La Land, really hard-hitting British films such as This Is England and Fish Tank, older Hollywood films such as Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, and more modern films that were quite groundbreaking at the time like Blade Runner. And we explore those films in terms of how they've been put together, how they manipulate spectators and how they prompt emotional responses in the audience. We go on from there to look at documentaries, experimental films, world cinema, and we also have practical components on screenwriting and filmmaking so that you get to put your skills into action and do something quite active with it. In terms of entry requirements, we need a level 4 in English, either language or literature, and that's really because communicating your ideas is crucial. In terms of the written ability that you need to bring to the course, we skill you up. So if you're a strong writer, we make you better. If you need that support and scaffolding, we're a very supportive subject and we do everything we possibly can to reduce any anxieties you might have. In terms of assessment, it's 30% coursework based on your screenwriting or your filmmaking, and 70% is exam assessed, where you're taking to pieces set texts. So it's a little bit like English literature is for you now currently at GCSE, in so much as you're exploring the films, but we're looking at films rather than novels and plays and poems. Extracurricular dimension of the subject, we've got 2 fantastic trips, one to London, one to New York, both big media hubs, and we explore the media life of those big cities. It involves a trip to Warner Brothers Studios, the London trip, a trip to NBC Studios in New York, Museum of the Moving Image, and you gain a very, very good insight into how film impacts upon big media centres such as that. In terms of the skills you develop, apart from the creative skills of screenwriting and filmmaking, you also develop skills in analysis, visual literacy, which I think is absolutely crucial in our modern world, that ability to take images to pieces, to take visual text to pieces, whether it be film or television, and understand how you're being manipulated and led towards certain ideas and responses. It combines extremely well with other subjects too, so it's got a sociological dimension, a psychological dimension, politics, history. They all have some kind of overlap with film, as does media studies and art subjects, because we're thinking about the composition of images and the way images are put together generally. Our ex-students have gone on to work in some very, very exciting projects. So we've got students that have been assistant directors on Peaky Blinders, worked as cinematographers on films like Paddington, Paddington 2, Fantastic Beasts, gritty social realist films such as I, Daniel Blake. We've got students who've gone on to be producers on Gogglebox and work on a number of high-profile productions in the area too. It's never been a better time to be a film student in the north. We've got the BBC moved up to Manchester at Salford Quays, Channel 4 have moved up to Leeds, and we've got such a wide variety of local production companies now which give you opportunities to continue your studies and find employment in the sector.